Okay, starting off our artifacts. Crook of Condemnation is 2 colorless for an artifact at uncommon. 1 colorless, tap and exile target creature from a graveyard.
Okay.
Or...
target card from a graveyard.
Sorry, target card. Oh, yeah, even better. 1, exile Crook of Condemnation, exile all cards from all graveyards.
So after God Pharaoh Nico Bolas, this seems like we're coming down.
Yeah, but let's look at this from what we see in the set.
I say this is specifically a sideboard card.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm not main decking this.
Fair enough.
Would you main deck this?
No, but
Okay.
I think it's a very strong sideboard card against anybody that has stuff, a lot of stuff in the graveyard, or an Aftermath card maybe that is difficult to deal with. Somebody in a cycling deck that's trying to get stuff into their graveyard.
I would have to see multiple cards that I care about exiling before I think about bringing this in.
Fair enough.
I'm not just bringing it in against one thing because they have to cast it and I have to kill it first.
Sure.
You know? So I don't think this is very good, but it's definitely something I'd consider if I see a multiple reasons to bring it in.
And I mean, I'm not going to first pick or, highly pick or anything else. But if I have it in my sideboard, I'm going to play it against decks like... There are still going to be decks that are not exert, embalm based. Yeah, and also this would be good to have in the sideboard for League, because that's where you're going to see a lot more of a constructed feel by the end of it. And
okay, fair enough.
I'm glad it exists in this set.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I imagine you'll get one late if you want one. I wouldn't worry about picking this ever.
Mm-hmm. Dagger of the Worthy.
Man, that's cool art.
Oh, it's pretty. 2 colorless for an artifact equipment at uncommon. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has afflict 1, and it equips for 2.
So I kind of like this. +2/+0 for 4, but like over 2 turns. So play it on 2 and equip it for 2. It's alright. I like that it deals damage whether the creature is blocked or not. Mm-hmm. And the creature that is wielding it will probably at least trade with whatever's blocking it. So, that's fine. 23rd card for me.
I think I'd like this in my flyer deck.
Also, I'm not sure if this art is meant for Amonkhet or if it's a leftover from Innistrad, because that looks a lot like...
I think it looks very Amonkhet-ish.
Okay.
The lapis on the hilt of the...
The Lazotep? Yeah, that's fair.
Whatever it is.
Okay.
It's pretty.
So 23rd card for me.
Late pack, but I think I would run this more than I will have run artifacts in the past. I'm not an equipment fan generally, so.
All right.
Ooh, this is pretty art too. I wouldn't mind a playmat with this. Manolith. 3 colorless for an artifact at common. Oh, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool.
That seems surprisingly good for a... It is. It's a reprint. Okay. This seems surprisingly good for a mana rock in this day and age.
Yeah, I'm quite enamored with this.
3 mana, add 1 of any color.
Yeah, it's probably where you want that extra color or that 3rd color that you want, or, you need help.
If I first pick...
Nico Bolas?
Yeah, Nico Bolas. I'm absolutely picking one of these up. Again, this would probably be a 23rd card in my deck, or if I know I want ramp, this is going in, and if I don't, then I really don't want this.
Because it's at common, this makes me much more likely to go 3 color. Like in Amonkhet, I never went 3 colors. I never even splashed a 3rd color.
Never?
Never.
Really?
Never.
I did that a lot.
I didn't, but this will... I'm really concerned about my mana base. I've had a lot of problems with variants lately, so I'm trying to, take out any other issues.
That's true for me, too. I tightened up a lot when I started to have troubles with, just variance issues.
Yeah. So, but this is going to make me much more likely to splash a 3rd color.
So where do you take it?
Probably mid-pack. I mean, I want to have a reason to take it,
Yeah.
but it's at common, so...
Mid to late pack, and when you know you want it.
Or if there's nothing else fantastic in the pack, I'll grab one and not be sad.
All right.
Sunset Pyramid. 2 colorless for an artifact at uncommon. Sunset Pyramid enters the battlefield with 3 brick counters on it, so we don't have to throw away all of our brick counters. 2 colorless and tap. Remove 1 brick counter from Sunset Pyramid. Draw a card. 2 colorless, tap, scry 1.
Okay. So once you've drawn your 3 cards off of it, it's still useful in that it scries. Mm-hmm. So in Amonkhet, we were building the pyramid, and now we're looting it. Basically, getting all the stuff out of it. I like that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
2 mana, and then 2 more mana, draw a card. 2 more mana, draw a card. Yeah, I think that does enough. I think I would pick one of these reasonably, like, mid-pack, and run it as my above a 23rd playable, but, like, not over a good creature, you know? So
Well, we didn't see fantastic card draw in this set.
No, not in this set.
So, yeah, it seems okay. And the art is gorgeous, so...
Yeah.
all the better.
All right.
Ooh, we see the return of Traveler's Amulet. 1 colorless for an artifact at common. 1 colorless, sack Traveler's Amulet. Search your library for a basic card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library.
So this is the kind of ramp that I like. Traveler's Amulet has been printed in, I think it was in original Innistrad or Dark Ascension. It was in Theros, I think. I have liked it every time I've seen it. It's not something I take highly or early, but it's something that I scoop up when I see it on the wheel or whatever. Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and I will probably run it in most decks, because most decks I'm going to be in...
2 colors.
I don't ever see myself being a mono color deck, so yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And this probably... I'd probably take this over Manolith, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Abandoned Sarcophagus is 3 colorless for an artifact at rare, so we're on to the rares. You may cast non-land cards with cycling from your graveyard.
Ooh.
If a card with cycling would be put into your graveyard from anywhere and it wasn't cycled, exile it instead.
Interesting. So it's not giving you 2 bites at the apple. So if you cast a cycling card, you can't then cast it again off of this. It's exiled. It's gone. But if you cycle a card early, it then lets you cast them.
Yeah, I would first pick this and then try for a cycling heavy deck.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just think it's really neat.
I don't think it's good enough to push me in that direction, but if I'm already leaning that way, I would definitely snap this up. So it's the kind of thing that when I know I'm in the deck, I would take it, but it's not going to push me into that deck.
Fair enough.
All right.
Look, Draft Cat showed up. Hi, Salem. God Pharaoh's Gift. Oh my.
We finally see it.
My goodness. 7 colorless for an artifact at rare. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie and it gains haste until end of turn.
So this lets you eternalize anything. For free.
Yep.
But you need to have 7 mana. 7 mana of any color, so that's something.
So are you first picking this and then going into green and ramping the snot out of this thing?
Maybe?
What do you think, Salem?
What do you think, Say? What do you think, Draft Cat? I don't know. It seems like it could be real good. Again, it's like a Commander All-Star, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But,
if this is going to be the same speed as the last set, I don't think you can ramp fast enough for it.
you know what, though? I think I'm going to take all of the 1, 2, and 3 drops that I can find and trade them off early.
Yeah.
And then on 7 mana, boom, each one of them becomes a 4/4.
Yep, that seems pretty good.
That seems pretty good. I think I might just first pick this and try it.
Yeah.
I don't know how good it's going to be, but it looks so fun.
Yeah. It's really hard to judge this because there's so many variables.
Also, what was the thing? Was it Gates to the Afterlife from Amonkhet? Do you remember?
I obviously never played it, so I have no idea.
Nobody played it because it required God Pharaoh's gift to be good.
Oh.
So,
okay, let's have a look at that.
So Gate to the Afterlife from Amonkhet was 3 for an uncommon artifact. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you gain 1 life. Then you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. And I don't think this ever got played, but it had the clause, the famous clause, 2, tap, sacrifice Gate to the Afterlife, search your graveyard, hand, and or library for a card named God Pharaoh's Gift, and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it, activate this ability only if there are 6 or more creature cards in your graveyard. So, yeah, I think I'd pick that up if I had God Pharaoh's Gift. Mm-hmm. And that's the deck. I'm going to play all the 1, 2, and 3 drops I can with this and with God Pharaoh's Gift.
Yeah, trade them off, and if people want to take the damage, they die to that instead.
I still don't know how good that's going to be, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to build a standard deck and try it out.
All right, on to our final artifact.
Okay. Oh, I've been waiting to talk about this one.
All right, why don't you read it off for us?
Mirage Mirror is 3 colorless for an artifact at rare. 2 colorless. A Mirage Mirror becomes a copy of target artifact, creature, enchantment, or land until end of turn.
Okay, so why have you been wanting to talk about this?
Because this one really excites me. I want it, and I want to play with it hard.
Okay, why?
It's just so interesting and hanky, and it's cheap to activate, and there's just so many weird things you can do with it. It's just really interesting, you know?
I want to play this and then do some sort of weird shenanigans where I pay 2 so it becomes a copy of something with a weird ability that I then activate, triggering or targeting it, and then turn it into something else in response to get some sort of like combo weird benefit out of, but I have no idea what that might be.
Well, for me it's even simpler than that. It's pay 2, target your best creature, swing with both. Pay 2, target their the big stupid red dragon.
Glorybringer.
Their Glorybringer. Suddenly, you target their best thing, you swing with that. Suddenly, either they trade off and they lose their big thing, or the race becomes a little more equal.
Or you exert it and just kill it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
interesting.
And there's so many things you can do with it.
It's weird. It's a clone, but not a clone. I'm definitely taking it. I think it's valuable enough as a pseudo clone that it could be really good.
I think we haven't looked at it with cards spread out in front of us to see what kind of crazy shenanigans you can get up to with it.
But there's got to be something.
Oh, absolutely. And for me, it's cheap enough to warrant a spot in my deck and to warrant grabbing. I mean, if this is in your pack, unless there is a mythic or a foil rare, I'm not going to miss out on a bonkers something.
I don't think I'd take it over good removal.
No?
No.
I think I would, because it could be removal. And I'm just kooky, and this is one of the ones that I would actually play to see how it goes.
Okay.
I may find out first time out that it's terrible, or I may find out first time out that it's amazing. But it is rare, so we're only going to get a chance or 2 to play it.
So how does the end of turn cycle work? I'm trying to figure it out, because until end of turn, so that's past the end step. I was just wondering if you could, like, at the end of your opponent's turn, trigger this, and it stays until your end of turn, but I don't think that's how it works.
No, I don't think so.
No, okay. Strange, but yeah, all right. I'd definitely take it and play with it. First pick, possibly, we're going to see how the format unfolds. But that's it for the artifacts, so now we're on to the lands. So our first land is Crypt of the Eternals, and I will tell you that this is our only land that is not a desert. So Crypt of the Eternals is a land at uncommon. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. It doesn't enter tapped. You can tap it to add colorless to your mana pool, or you can pay 1 and tap it to add blue, black, or red to your mana pool. This is the fixing that I want for Mr. Bolus.
Yeah, this should read Crypt of the Eternals, aka helping you cast Bolus since 2017.
Although, it also adds 1 to his cost, and he already costs 7.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So, maybe he's not the land you want to cast Bolus. I don't know. This seems just fine to me, though. A colorless land that gains you 1 life is sort of meh. And then if you're in any 2 of those colors, it's probably fine. I'm not picking it early.
Yeah.
I'm not picking it over even a mediocre playable.
Fair enough.
But I would pick it up late and probably play it if it's in my colors.
Yeah, this again would make me more likely to splash something in those colors.
But it would have to be something that you are okay adding 1 mana to the cost of 2. So
absolutely.
Good removal. Like if you're splashing a red burn spell, it's probably fine. I don't know. On to Desert of the Fervent.
So this is the first in this first cycle of deserts?
Yeah, I didn't bother sorting these out by Wooburg order or whatever, but
That's
they're
fair.
all like this. Desert of the Fervent, Desert of the Glorified, Desert of the Indomitable, Desert of the Mindful, and Desert of the True. They all have land desert at the as a subtype. They're all common. They all entered tapped. They all tap for their color, and they all cycle for 1 plus their color. These are, I think, highly pickable. Like, they're not high picks, but they're going to, you're going to scoop them up whenever they come around to you.
Yeah, because regardless whether or not you like them or you kind of grumble at having to play essentially a plains that enters tapped, there are enough stuff that cares about deserts that you're kind of obligated to grab them. And
all of the things that care about deserts care about them being either on the battlefield or in the graveyard. Or both. So if you just want to cycle this to draw a card, you've got that activation in your graveyard. You've got something that a lot of cards seem to care about. So these are just going to be fine. Pick them up wherever you don't have something better, and you're going to play them. All right, on to the next. This is not a cycle? I don't think this is a vertical cycle. We'll find out. Dunes of the Dead is a land desert at uncommon. It taps for colorless, or when it is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So when would this be put into the graveyard from the battlefield? Well, we'll find out. A desert that taps for colorless is probably just fine if you want a desert.
Yep.
And we've already seen several creatures that care about deserts. We're about to find out why else this might be useful. Here we have the first of the deserts care about deserts. Desert? Desert. Malkovich. Hashep Oasis is a land desert at uncommon. You can tap it to add colorless to your mana pool. You can tap it and pay 1 life to add green to your mana pool. So what do we think of that just there? It taps for colorless, or if you really need the green, you can pay 1 life. That's fine, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Considering you want deserts in your...
I think it's just great that there's almost no downside to playing this as a desert. So it also has an ability. Pay 1 green, tap it, and sacrifice a desert. Hey, you remember the dunes that we just saw? Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. So this turns your lands into spells.
Yeah, and I think we should also at this point mention that we have seen at least one. You may play land cards from your graveyard.
Oh man,
things like that are going to just make this cycle better.
So that's a deck that I want to make. You can play land cards from your graveyard and then grab all of the deserts that do this and just value out my my opponents with so many free spell. Well, free. It's like drawing cards that way. So what do we think of this ability? 3 mana, give something +3/+3 until end of turn. It's okay, right?
Yeah, it seems fine.
It's fine. It's not the most exciting, but the fact that you don't have to use a card from your hand, and it helps you get a desert into your graveyard.
Yep.
And you can hopefully repeat it, because if you're casting or if you're sacrificing a different desert, that you can then use this one too later. Seems just fine. Where do we pick it?
I want to be in green first.
You want to know you're in green.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I'm in green, I'm picking this as highly as necessary, because if there's not just some solid, strong, playable, especially a creature, then I would prefer this over a dirtle. You know?
Yeah. I begrudgingly, like, if it didn't have the sacrifice a desert part, like the second half, I would still begrudgingly play it, just because we need deserts for a lot of creatures. Otherwise, I would just play forest, because I'm not paying for my forest when I can just play one. Yeah. But deserts matter, so I'll play it.
Now we have Ifnir Deadlands. This is the black version of the same thing. So it taps for colorless, tap and pay 1 life to make a black, and its ability is 2 black, tap and sacrifice a desert. Put 2 -1/-1 counters on target creature and opponent controls. Activate this ability only when you could cast a sorcery. So turn your deserts into removal spells.
That's fine.
Just fine?
It's fine.
You're not excited?
It's okay.
Yeah. Again, I would take this whenever I didn't see a good playable in the pack, because if I'm maybe cutting whatever I'm taking over this, I know I'm going to be playing this, you know? Next, we have Ipnu Rivulet. It's the blue version, and for 1 blue, tapping and sacrificing a desert, target player puts the top 4 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard.
This is the one I'm least keen on.
Yeah, you know what I want to do? I want to grab, what was it, an enchantment that whenever at the end of turn opponent mills X, where X is the amount of cards that went to their graveyard. That could be fun.
Oh, you're evil.
Yeah, this is not a good one, although I could see playing this just as a desert if I'm in blue. Yeah. If I'm in blue, I'm playing it. I'm
and you
just
may
not
find
using
reason
the ability
to use it, but whatever.
Ramanap Ruins. We've got the red version, 2 red, tap and sacrifice a desert. Ramanap Ruins deals 2 damage to each opponent.
Sure.
What is this? It's not Lightning Rift. It's a thing that turns your lands into burn spells. Molten Vortex?
Yeah.
It's fine. Again, play it if you're in red. Don't play it if you're not. But that ability could just win you the game later. Like if you have 3 deserts, you can 6 them over 3 turns.
Yeah, but you're not playing much else.
I'm assuming in red that you're out of things to cast at that point.
Fair enough.
Shefet Dunes is the last one. I think it's the last one. Green, black, blue, Red, white, yep. Sheffet Dunes is the white version. 2 white, white. Tap and sacrifice a desert. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. So you're not getting someone in combat with this, but +1/+1 to your team.
I like it. Repeatable.
Could be good. Could just be bad. Who knows? You'll have to be winning combat, or else the second one is worse, much worse, because you're losing creatures if you're not winning combat. Still, there's no cost to putting this in your deck, almost none, and then maybe you'll use that ability.
Yep.
All right, so got 4 more. Survivor's Encampment is a common land desert. Tap to add colorless to your mana pool, or tap it and tap an untapped creature you control to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool.
Oh, I like this one quite a bit.
So this is the thing that you want to help you cast Bolas.
Yes, absolutely.
Tapping a land is means you're adding mana to the mana cost of whatever it is you're doing, but tapping a creature, usually, I mean, you don't want to tap all of your creatures because then you're defenseless, but...
what was the ability in something recent that allows you to use...
Convoke.
Convoke. This is a Convoke.
This is a Convoke-like ability.
Yeah.
I like this quite a bit.
It's at common. That could make things weird. I like it.
And again, with the Naga Vitalists from Amonkhet, this can tap for any color, so they can then tap for any color.
Yeah. Dang.
I would pick this up, again, over mediocre playables. I think this is going to be fine.
Yeah.
I'd only run 1.
Yeah.
Probably.
Fair enough.
Endless Sands. We're on to the rares. Land Desert. Tap to add colorless to your mana pool, or tap 2 and tap it to exile target creature you control. Tap 4 and tap it. Sacrifice Endless Sands. Return each creature card exiled with Endless Sands to the battlefield under its owner's control.
Oh, I see. I see. You know what this is?
This is a Hail Mary?
This, you pay 2, tap and sack your little thing that you don't really care about. You pay 4, tap and sack this, and you get back the creature that they have, not stasis snared, but, you know, you get back the creature that you used, and you also get back whatever they have.
What? No.
Oh, no, you have to exile it with him. Oh.
So you're on the right track. For paying 2 and tapping this, you exile something that's under removal or something that's going to die in combat.
Yeah.
And then you can tap 4, tap and sacrifice this to get them all back. I don't know. I don't think I like it.
If you're running it because you want a desert,
yeah,
it gets back your bomb that they think that they've gotten rid of, I guess.
Well, they know that they haven't gotten rid of it if it's under this.
It's weird.
It's very weird. I don't think this is a high pick. I don't even think this is a strong card. Definitely not in limited. I mean, I might side it in if I see a lot of enchantment-based removal. Mm-hmm. But you're paying a lot of mana for that effect.
And here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're saying that if they have it, you can use it to free something that's been...
Well, first you have to pay 2 and exile that creature.
But if that creature's already been exiled by their exile effect, you can't, correct?
No, this doesn't work on cast-outs. Well, it does at instant speed if you can do it in response.
Sure.
What it works against is compulsory rests and things like that.
Sure.
So
I'd rather just have a bounce spell.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel, too. Hostile Desert is a land desert at rare. Tap it to add colorless to your mana pool, or tap 2 and exile a land card from your graveyard. Hostile Desert becomes a 3/4 elemental creature until end of turn. it's still a land. So it's a man land. You pay 2, and you exile a land from your graveyard. So you have to have lands in your graveyard, which works well with the deserts that sack deserts to activate. It's not like as repeatable as other man lands, but it still seems reasonably strong. And it's also a desert, so you could sack it to those other deserts. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's okay. The thing you've got to watch is that you're not exiling a land out of your graveyard and then all of the things that care about having one in there. Although most of them are either or, on the field or in your graveyard, so
right,
there's that.
Except for the rare Hydra. Yeah, so you still have a desert, but yeah.
It's okay.
I'd call it just okay.
Yeah.
All right, Scavenger Grounds. Is this the last one?
I don't know. We'll find out when we're...
Okay. Scavenger Grounds. Land desert at rare. Tap to add colorless to your mana pool, or tap 2 and tap it and sacrifice a desert. Exile all cards from all graveyards. This is the graveyard hate card that I think I want.
It seems okay.
It's a... What is it? Tormod's Crypt on a land?
Yeah, and it's a desert, so you're going to want it regardless, so... Yeah, it seems okay.
Not a high pick. I'd pick it up late in the pack and then hopefully get the benefit out of it. I'd only grab it if I really knew I wanted deserts. Adding colorless sources to your deck has a real cost. That's why the ones that you can pay 1 life and tap for your color are so good. But this is still just okay. And that's the end of our set review. Wow.
So, what do you think of the whole set?
I'm looking forward. I think it's exciting. I think there's enough different from Amonkhet that it'll nicely be a nice refresh. I can see where why they're going to the single block structure, because it's hard to keep things interesting while still keeping them the same, you know?
Yeah, because you don't want to be too samey, but you also can't really go too far off of where you have been. I think they've done a good job with some of the cards that are just weird. They either feel color shifted or they do a combination of weird kooky things, or...
Yeah, especially some of the creatures felt that way.
Yeah, even some of the non-creature spells, like that red damage and enchantment removal, or artifact removal in one card that seems really neat.
Well, that definitely sounds like a red card, but it's just, it seems very strong, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing how it plays out with your third pack.
After we've seen the whole set, I honestly think we're going to see a little bit of a slowdown. Maybe not as much as I initially thought, but I don't think things are going to be blisteringly fast.
We can hope. We can hope.
Yeah, we can hope. I know I'm going to enjoy my pre-release.
Yeah, I am not, because I won't be here.
Oh, sad face.
Yeah, big time.
So, if you've enjoyed this set review, if you found it worthwhile, please give us the old thumbs up. If you're listening to this on the Knowledge Pool podcast, please consider giving it the old 5-star ratings on iTunes. And if you have any suggestions or think we were outright blatantly wrong about any of the cards, please feel free to comment in the comments down below. We will be back tomorrow with our mini review of the instant speed effects. That's just to get people ready for their pre-releases. But we've been through the whole set now, and I think we're ready.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So thanks very much for watching or listening or spending time with us in any way that you do.
Thanks for watching.